Hello, welcome to AllCBT once again. My name is David, and in today's special curated class, we'll be taking GCE most likely questions for this year exams. So these are the top 30 questions that you should face in your GCE questions. They are most likely, all right? So as I go through them, I have option A to E. I will be giving you the correct option. If you have questions, you have comments, please let me know in the comment section. And if you are yet to be subscribed to the channel, I think you should smash the subscribe button right now so that when I make updates to these questions, you will be notified and then you can come to watch them. Now we'll be starting with first question. Choose from the options letter A to E the one that most appropriately completes each sentence. And what's the sentence? Olu has returned the pencil, he dashed him. Olu has returned the pencil, he dashed him. So Olu here is the subject. So Olu has returned the pencil, he what? Is it handled him, borrowed him, dashed him, lent him, given him? You would be in between borrowed and lent, but the correct option for this sentence would be lent because Olu collected, okay, he collected something back. So Olu has returned, and is the subject. Olu has returned the pencil, he lent him, not borrowed. So don't make the mistake of taking borrowed. Question 2. From 2009, choose the options lettered A to E, the one that has the same vowel sound as the one represented by the underlined letters. So this is the underlined letter. Letter E is the underlined letter. But in the word BED, it has the sound E. Okay, E as in bed. Okay, if you do phonetics in primary school, you should be very used to this. So bed, the sound, the vowel sound there. Mind you, it says the vowel sound, not the consonant sounds. So the vowel sound there is the E sound. So which of these options has that E sound? You have paid, has the A sound. You have people, you have the prayed, A sound also. You have que, you have said. This has the said, you can hear it there. So sound is in said. So E is the correct option. Question 3 from 2001. Choose from option A to E the one that most appropriately completes the sentence. When it means most appropriately, what it simply means is that some of them would complete the sentence, but one of them would most correctly. All right? It's trying to tell you, in other words, that not all these options are wrong. Some of them might sound right. Some of them might even be right. But one is most appropriate for this statement or this sentence. And what's the sentence? The Lagos Trade Fair dash annually. So which of these options will fit in there? The Lagos Trade Fair are held annually. It couldn't be her because the Lagos Trade Fair is in the singular. It's a singular meeting of businessmen and entrepreneurs. So we have the Lagos Trade Fair is held annually because this is in the past. All right, is held would work, and Lagos Trade Fair is in the singular. So option B should be the correct option. But let's see others. The Lagos Trade Fair is holding annually. Not most appropriately there. And then you have the Lagos Trade Fair may be holding annually. No, there's an affirmation. It's certain. It's always hold every year. Then the Lagos Trade Fair was held annually. I will go with is held annually because it is the most appropriate. Question 4 from 2003. Choose from the options letter A to E the one that contains the sound segment represented by the given phonetic symbol. So this is a phonetic symbol. It has a phonetic sound. And what is the sound? The sound for this is. So which of these has that sound? So you have text, it's not there. You have that, it's not there. You have they, it's not there. You have thing. Okay, this sound can also be found in words like think, All right, so it's a sound. So it's in think, it's in think. All right, so that's option D is the correct option here for the sound. Question 5, 2005. Complete this question with the most appropriate of the options, letter A to E. The foreign investor was advised to stop dash and take a firm decision at once. The foreign investor was advised to stop dash and take a firm decision at once. So you have contemplating, deferring, ditering, meditating, and procrastinating. The foreign investor was advised to stop dash and take a firm decision at once. We are completing this question with the most appropriate. So which of these words is the most appropriate for what is being said here? Let's put them in one after the other. The foreign investor was advised to stop contemplating and take a firm decision at once. No. Okay, contemplating won't be the right word. Why? Because contemplating means discussing, reasoning, thinking, right? And it's not even the most suitable word for this. Let's see other ones. You have differing, which does not even apply. You have ditering. Ditering should apply because ditering means in between, thinking, double dialing, okay, uncertain. So the foreign investor was advised to stop ditering back and forth and take a firm decision. Be firm. Why are you going back and forth? All right. So we have meditating, won't work there, okay, because everybody meditates. In fact, it's good to meditate. Procrastinating. This is a formal statement, so procrastinating should not work here. So ditering is the better rendering or the better use of word, better grammar here. Foreign investor was advised to stop ditering, stop what's another word? Dialing, okay, and take a firm decision immediately. Question 6 now from 2002. Choose the option A to E, the one that is most nearly opposite in meaning to the underlined word. Now, notice that most nearly opposite. The first thing there is opposite in meaning, then most nearly opposite. Now, let's see. Religious people are expected to be ascetic. Now, one of the challenges with words like this or grammar is that if you don't know the meaning of that word, how do you know what the most nearly opposite or the opposite of this word is if you don't know the meaning of this, right? So that's why you have to know a lot of words. And how can you know a lot of words? You can know by attempting, of course, past questions as this, reading a lot of novels and literature, and watching international movies. Those of you who specialize in Yoruba stuff. So religious people are expected to be ascetic. Now, another word for ascetic would be like pious, restrictive, modest. Thank you, that's the word. Another word for ascetic would be modest. Religious people are expected to be modest, managed, not up and down, like that. That's like the Nigerian style. I'm trying to put it in a way that you will really comprehend it. So religious people are expected to be modest in whatever they are doing. Not too much, just in modest form. Now, another word for modest would be pious. Another word for ascetic would be pious. Now, but because the statement says, or the question says, should be most nearly opposite. So we have to give the opposite of pious, the opposite of modest from this will be what? Extravagant. Yeah, meaning that this one spends, this one, this one blows. So extravagant. So religious people are expected to be modest or contained, but this particular person is extravagant. Question 7 from 2004. Choose the option letter A to E, the one that is nearest in meaning to the underlined words or expression in the following questions. Most fixed assets do not depreciate easily. We are asked to give the word one that is nearest to meaning from this. So we have depreciate. In fact, it's not depreciate, it's depreciate. So most fixed assets do not depreciate easily. So what's the nearest meaning to depreciate from these words? Appreciate will mean the opposite. That means to elevate, to go up. Decay will not work here because decay is good for food. Decay is good for food terms, things that has to do with food or things that would spoil, that will rot. But this fixed asset is not, consumables or ingestibles. And you have degenerate. Okay, degenerate will not be the one that is most or the closest in meaning. Then you have devaluate. Okay, so we use value for assets, especially in finances. We say the naira has devalued, the dollar has appreciated, that kind of stuff. So most fixed assets do not devaluate. Would be a bet between degenerate and, because we are in between these two. No other one come close. So between degenerate and devaluate, the better or the one that works with what we have here, most fixed assets do not devaluate easily. That would be option D. Question 8 from 2009. Choose the option letter A to E, the one that has the same vowel sound as the one represented by the underlined letters. What's the word? Receipt. Some call it recipe. Some call it receipt. This is receipt. And what's the underlined word? There is E. We saw something like this before, I think in question 2. This is the E sound. So which of these now has the E sound? You have faith, A sound. The vowel sound is A, faith. Then you have feather, E, feather. And then you have E. This one has the E sound. That's the short I sound. Then you have the seed, E, long I sound. And then that's long I. Okay, sorry, this is short I. So, then my marker is not doing justice. This is long I or long E. Then you have the soul, O sound. So, but this is the one that has the E, feather. So it has the E sound. So that's option B. Question 9 from 2001. Choose from the options A to E the one that is the most appropriate interpretation for each of the following statements. After the successful operation, it recovered by leaps and bounds. The phrase there is leaps and bound. This means what? When you hear phrase as leap and bound or leaps and bound, it means what? A. He got well very rapidly. B. His well-bound wounds aided his recovery in the middle of the night. Interesting. C. He did a lot of keep fit exercises. D. He used to enjoy regularly. You just have to cancel this one. Doesn't even make sense. Now, I always give this trick when you are faced with multi-choice questions, especially when you are not really sure of what the answer could be. You should always try to eliminate the two most illogical answers, leaving you with the correct one and something that looks close. In this case now, even though you've not heard this phrase before, which I doubt, but even if you don't know the meaning of this phrase, this one doesn't even make sense. So you need to eliminate this first so that you can now try to guess. Because sometimes you've got to guess. Nobody knows everything. So you can eliminate this. He used to enjoy regularly. He did a lot of keep fit exercises. Is not the answer. So you are between A and B. But the correct answer or the correct option is option A. He recovered by leaps and bounds. Simply means he got well very quickly, very rapidly. Question 10. 2005. Complete this question with the most appropriate of the options from A to E. The radio station promised to dash a commentary of the football match. A. Announce. B. Arrange. C. Cover. D. Produce. E. Relay. Now, you need to understand the scenario before you can know what option to take. Now, the radio station would relay the commentary because one, they are not with cameras at the location. They would only stream into one of the televisions that is broadcasting the match and relay. Do you understand it now? They would relay the commentary from the match. You are not even going to watch, maybe you're driving and you're just hearing the commentary. It's being relayed from a TV station that might be live on the scene. Do you get it now? So that's why this would be the correct option. Next, 11. Choose from the options A to E, the one that is nearest in meaning to the underlined word. And what is the underlined word? Strictures. Now let's read in context. The lady ignores strictures on her mannerism. So nearest in meaning. What's another? Which of these options would replace strictures? General complaints. So the lady ignores general complaints on her mannerism. But you can see strict there. Strictures. So strictures will mean we can at least deduce that there's strict and stricter. So strict definitely means something severe. Okay, it's not a general word. So general would not fit in there. Then public outrage will not fit. It would be severe criticism. So I'm just showing you some ways to answer questions, even if you don't have an idea, you've not come across those words before. So the lady ignores strictures on her mannerism. Simply means, because you can see strict here, you should have an idea that this will mean strict. From the options, this will mean severe criticism. She's been criticized on her manners, but she's always ignored them. So option C is the correct answer. And then 12, 2003. From the words letter A to E, choose the one that best completes each of the following sentences. Cigarette dash been banned. Which of these would best complete this? Is it cigarette advertising has been banned? Cigarette campaign. Campaign is when you're trying to well, it's used mostly in election, it's used mostly for a right cause. Okay, you use campaign for a right cause. But cigarette, I'm talking about banned, it's not the right cause, because banned definitely means it's not something good. So this is not for a right cause. So we don't campaign for, you have never seen anybody campaign for something bad. They believe somehow, some way it's for the right cause. So but because campaign is for the right cause, it won't work with ban, with cigarette. Then you have discussion, means they start on the table. Campaign discussion, doesn't make any sense, meaning that nobody in the city can talk about cigarettes. No, there's freedom of speech, last I remember. So then encouragement, publicity. So we are between advertising and publicity. And the correct option, logically, grammatically correct, would be advertising. So cigarette advertising, meaning that no cigarette company is allowed to advertise cigarette on the television or any other kind of media platform. Question 13 from 2004. Choose the interpretation that you consider most appropriate of the following questions. By studying and participating extensively in social activities on the campus, Adamu appeared to be biting more than he can chew. That's where the emphasis is on. Biting more than he can chew is an expression. This means Adamu was what? Biting more than he can chew. What does it mean? A. Attempting too much. B. Becoming a glutton. C. Becoming popular. D. Being sociable. E. Getting over ambitious. So, which of these would replace biting more than you can chew? To bite more than you can chew is to take more than you can handle, alright, per time. So that would be attempting too much. Question 14 from 2009. Choose from the options that are A to E, the one that contains the sound segment represented by the given phonetic symbol. What is this symbol? It's straight. It's a straight sound. This is just okay. So which of these has in it? You have cut. It's not there. cool, cut, and then you have pull, right? You have cut, cool, cut, and then you have pull. So it's in the last one, the E. E is the correct option. 15. From 2001, choose from nearly A to E the one that is most nearly opposite in meaning to the underlined word. He was instructed to catch the thief, dead or... This one should be a bonus question for you because this is a popular one. You must have watched some movies that the caption was dead or alive. Some even call it in military or in law enforcement, it's called DOA. When they say get him DOA, it means dead or alive. So that's option A. Alright, question 16 from 2008. Choose from the options letter A to E the one that rhymes with the word given. What's the word given? Sort. It's like ought, or ought. That's ought sound. So which of these has a sound that rhymes with ought? You have cloth, cut. Then you have ought. Then you have pot. This is short, long. So cut is the correct option there. Now, if you've been enjoying this video up until this time, it shows that you are getting one or two things from the content. What you need to do now is to like the video. It does suggest to the YouTube algorithm that the content is good enough to be pushed to a larger audience. And if you are yet to be subscribed, it's time to do so by smashing the subscribe button. You confirm that you want more of this so that when we upload the next video or the subject, you'll be notified and come back to prepare maximally for your exam. Now let's continue. Question 17 from 2005. Choose from the options letter A to E the one that is nearest in meaning to the word underlined. What's the word underlined? Industrious. People respect my aunt because she's very industrious. So what's the one that is nearest in meaning to industrious from this? Faithful. No, faithful is not close to industrious. Not another word for industrious. Hardworking, skillful, upright, versatile. So the only one that works here is hardworking. Hardworking and industrious are synonymic words. So that's option B. And then question 19 from 2003. From the words letter A to E, choose the one that best completes each of the following sentences. I crave your dash to formally introduce the compare for this August gathering. I crave your what? What should be there? Now, first thing to note is that this is a formal writing. This is probably an excerpt from a formal letter or from a formal invitation. This is somebody like asking his boss or her boss, okay, probably in an official setting to do something. Okay, so I crave your, because it's formal, there are some words that can only be used perfectly for this. So I crave your approval, because it would not sit well. Just cut to the chase. The right word that would fit for this is indulgence. You must have had it in several formal settings. I crave your indulgence. Okay, or some persons may say, allow me to, please allow me to introduce. Get that now. So it's always used in a formal setting. So if the person is not saying, but for this purpose, you cannot say, I crave your approval or I crave your cooperation. It's got to be indulgence or allow me to formally introduce, blah, blah, blah. 2009, question 19. Choose from the options letter A to E, the one that is most nearly opposite in meaning to the word or expression in italics. What is italics? A word that is like this, slightly bent, is in italic. So your word is in negation of our earlier discussion or decision. So negation. What is negation? Something that opposites what was from in this context. Something oppositing what was earlier said. So now we are now looking for the word opposite in meaning to this. So what's the opposite of something that is in opposite of. So that would be in agreement of, right? So your action is in negation of our earlier discussion. So the opposite of negation will mean in agreement. So which of these works there? That would be contrast is opposite, disrespect to its opposite, opposition to its opposite. Is either connection with or consonance with. But for the sake of grammatically being correct, that will be consonance with. So your action is in consonance, right, with our earlier discussion. Question 20 from 2001. Choose the option A today, the one that most appropriately completes the sentence. I am not going to dash. I'm not going to do dash. Okay, so which of these options completes that? I am not going to do any more work today. I'm not going to do any work more today. Okay, they are all having the same wordings. The only difference is the placement of the wordings. Which one should come before which? Which one is contextually correct? Okay, or connotatively correct? So I'm not going to do any more work today is the correct one from this. Not any work more. Or some persons may say, I'm not going to do work anymore today. That's a local guy. So I'm not going to do any more work today. Option A. Now 21 from 2008. Choose from the options letter A to E, the one that contains the sound segment represented by the given phonetic symbol. Okay, and what is this phonetic symbol? That's owls. That's owl. Owl. You see the way I see the shape of my mouth. Owl. That shape you'll find in words like house. Okay, house. So now, but we have bow. You have moon. You have mower. You have spouse. You have towel. Now, if you don't know these sounds, how would you be able to know what the correct options or option would be? So you need to really practice a lot of sounds. And to practice a lot of sounds, you can download our apps. Okay, you can find the link to download the apps in the description of this video. So download the app either on Google Play Store or iOS Store and practice hundreds of questions as this for free. So this is the how option. So that's option D, spouse, is the correct one. 22 from 2002. Choose from the option labeled A to B, the one that has the same consonant sound as the one represented in the underlying letters. As the one represent the underlying letters. Something is not correct there. So, and what is the word? The word is chale. Chale. So we need to, which of these words has the sound with chale? This is the sound sh, sh, chalet, sh. So which of these has that? You have change, which is not. Chrome, it has the sound. Change has the sound, not that. You have city, not even sit there. You have house. I already showed you the sound in house in the previous question. Then you have shoot. Sh. So this is the only one that has the sound. Chalet, shoot. Alright. 23 from 2009. Complete the statement with the most appropriate of the options. After 3 consecutive months without pay at work, we are beginning to feel the what? The what? Now, the consequence, no. Consequence will be the result of a negative action or of a negative choice. No, they didn't make any negative choice yet, right? Crunch, pain, poverty, result. Results will not sit here because they didn't do any work. They didn't do anything wrong that will make them to expect to get a result. So we are going to be left with, poverty will not sit well. So it's got to be crunch. So after 3 consecutive months without pay at work, we are beginning to feel the crunch. Crunch means something is getting bad. it's affecting us. We are getting destroyed. That's what crunch means. It means like, something that was blossoming is now being compressed. All right, so we are beginning to feel the crunch. We are beginning to feel the tense, the pain, but this would be the better rendering. Okay, 24. 2001. Choose from options A to E the one that most appropriately completes the sentence. He denied that he dashed the man. He denied that he dashed the man. He didn't see the man. He doesn't see the man. He had seen the man. He hadn't seen the man. He hasn't seen the man. Okay, so this is a conditional statement. So in a conditional statement, we've done a lot of this in our previous class questions. We use had. So he denied that he had seen the man. Right. So he denied that he had seen the man. 25. Choose from the options that are A to E the one that is nearest to the word in italics. Where is the word? This is the word. His performance was adequate for promotion to the next class, but not good enough for a scholarship. So we are choosing the one that is nearest in meaning to adequate. Another word for adequate from this. Acceptable, excellent, not satisfactory, it's not adequate. So stormily is not adequate. Heavily is not adequate. So we are left with acceptable and excellent. So excellent is beyond adequate. so it's got to be acceptable. So acceptable means satisfactory, average. So his performance was average or acceptable for promotion to the next class, but was not good enough for his scholarship. 26 now from 2004. Use from the options lettered A to E the one that has the correct stress with the word given. In each word, only one syllable has the main primary stress, and the syllable is written in capital letter. What's the word? Unreasonable. Unreasonable. So where is the stress on unreasonable? I've often said that with stress, one, there are two things about stress. You need to know how to pronounce the word. If you don't know how to pronounce the word, how do you know where the stress is on the word? That's the first thing. Two, there are rules to some of these things. So once you know the rule, you don't even need to bother yourself as to where the stress is. In this particular case, I put the rule here for you. I said most four-syllabic adjectives with prefix un places stress on the third syllable. So this one, you don't even need to stress yourself. Once you see that the word has a prefix means this is a prefix. Un is a prefix to the word. The word is reasonable. And then un is a prefix. That means it comes before. Right? So most four-syllabic word that has a prefix. Why is it four-syllabic? You have 1, 2, 3, 4. Reasonable. Reasonable. So that's four-syllabic word. So most four, this is the rule. This rule cannot be broken. So most four-syllabic word with prefix un has the stress on the third syllable. So once this one is at the back of your mind, you don't even need to stress yourself. You just know that, okay, if the stress is on the third syllable, C is got to be my answer. Because what? 1, 2, 3. So the stress is on. So unreasonable. So that's option C. And then 27 from 2009. Choose from the options letter A to E the one that is nearest in meaning to the word in italic or italic in the following question. The sympathizer's message was profound. What sympathizers? Somebody who goes through a situation with somebody, most of the time in negative situation, who is there for you, who is there with people through negative situation, mostly family or friends. So the sympathizer's message was profound. Was now nearest in meaning. Another word for sympathizer. No, another word for profound is actually profound. Another word for profound. Profound means what? It was deep, was a lot, carried a lot of weight, weighty. The sympathizer's message was profound. So I'll go with deep. Yes. So the sympathizer's message was deep or weighty, carried a lot of love, a lot of, it carried a lot of emotion. Yeah. So deep is another word for profound. And then you have 2001. Choose from options A to E, the one that most appropriately completes the sentence. To keep our bodies healthy, we need a dash diet. So which of these words most appropriately? Note that some can complete, but we need the one that will do it the best or the better. No, the best because there are more than two. So to keep our bodies healthy, we need is it balanced diet, complete diet, mixed diet, nutritious diet, proto-mixed diet. Some persons will want to go with nutritious diet. Some other persons may say complete diet. Some other persons will say balanced diet. But because it's a cliche, almost a cliche, balanced diet. What's balanced diet? A meal that contains all the classes of food in the right proportion. So this would be most appropriately the word to complete this. Nutritious diet is good, but not most appropriate. Right, so A is the correct option. 29 from 2008. Choose from the options lettered A to E, the one that has the same consonant sound as one represented by the underlined letter. What's the letter underlined? Right? So that's her. Your tongue is a little bit elevated. And that's the sound again. River. So you have ban, bird. See, not bed, like you say. It's bird. Then you have cat. Then you have girl. Then you have piracy. So the word is on piracy. Okay? So river, piracy. The same consonant sound is on piracy. And then the last question for this class, final question on question 30 from 2005. Choose from the options lettered A to E, the one that is most nearly opposite in meaning to the underlined word or expression, and at the same time fill in the gap. Okay, now, so this particular word has to perform two functions. Has to be most nearly opposite in meaning and must fill in the gap. Alright, so what's the word in question? Eagerness. So the eagerness with which the passenger takes instructions shows that he will perform his duty without what? Opposite in meaning to eagerness. Someone who is eager is inquisitive, active, curious. Okay, and so somebody who is not eager, who is not curious, will be what? Who is not willing. Okay, eagerness also will be willing. So somebody who is not willing will be what? Is it complaint? No. Disrespect? No. Hindrance? Protecting? Reluctant. So let's see. Let's put reluctance here. So the eagerness with which the passenger takes instructions shows that he will perform his duties without reluctance. I think that's the right word. All right. So with that, we have the 30 very likely questions that you should encounter in your GCE exam of this year, whether it's NECO GCE or WAEC GCE. We have several other videos that I have made covering some other top likely questions you should encounter, not just in English, also in literature in English. So you want to head to the channel and watch all those videos, combine them with the knowledge you gain from your past questions, and if you want to practice past questions for free, like I said before, you can check the links in the description of this video where you would find the Google Play Store and Apple Play Store link to download and study all of these questions for free. Now you don't have any excuse to fail. I'll see you in the next video. Hi, I'm sure you enjoyed the content you just watched. To see more episodes as that, preparing you for your oncoming exams, smash the subscribe button on this channel right now and visit the playlist that we've made for you, covering over 50 types of different exams, including JAMB, WAEC, Kakao,